the audio could very well be fault because of the new earbuds. I can see the levels here. It's more like some stuff might be too loud or too quiet. Run that shit back. I like the rain sounds in the back. It's just one of those days. 22 months, Oxu, thank you.
19 Germania.
Thank you, man. I started 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I remember I was playing the Great Ace Attorney 2 when I was recovering from COVID and I was streaming it. But I couldn't use a mic because I was still like you know, corky. It's so pixelated. I think my first stream was no mic. In my second stream I had I think I had a headset or like earbud mic, but problem was I didn't set it correctly on OBS, so it just used the microphone that was like in my laptop. That shit sounded so bad. Like worse than a webcam mic. I would hit 5 minutes. It's not gonna show the game, but once I click, it should. I think. And immediately, I think that's sort of Phantom Ganon, Pikes, and ropes. The rest looks custom. I think this game also uses the Ocarina of Time 3D text, the font. Playing on keyboard, so because X input didn't want to work with the emulator. Let's get into it. Let's get stupid. What's the silver rupee noise? The spirit medallion, I think. Maybe it's the light medallion. Probably light medallion. Hello, Gabe. So I don't know if you know how ROM hacks work, but basically this is Zelda Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64. But fans make ROM hacks where they like edit the ROM and they do their own thing with it. And this is based on Ace Attorney. Oh my god. But it's in the Ocarina of Time engine. I'm playing it through an emulator. You'd think that after so many years of doing this, I'd be used to the stress. So why am I shaking? Gah. I guess it's a lot worse when it's your friend's life that's on the line. Come on, gotta look professional. She can't see you like this. Speaking of her though, where is she anyway? Hey you, over there. Huh? What is it, attorney? The trial isn't starting yet. But it will soon, right? Do you happen to know why my client isn't here yet? I didn't get to speak much with her when she was arrested, so I was hoping I could at least exchange a word with her now. Wahaha. Well, you weren't the only one with the idea. I believe she is currently in the prosecutor's lobby. He wanted to talk to her as well. What? What is up with this guy? He bars me from the crime scene, blocks my detention center visits, and now this? Not to worry, she will definitely be here before the trial. Great. That'll be a joyous 5 minutes indeed. But there's nothing I can do but wait. Sometime later. Okay, this is ridiculous. How much longer can he keep her? Ah, see, there she is. No need to get all worked up. Is something wrong? Did I hear shouting? So much for looking professional. No, don't worry. Everything's fine. This is Malin. Ever since we met in Hyrule Castletown all those years ago, we've been great friends. Her heart's in the right place. I know she cared deeply about her father. If everything's fine, then why do you look so worried? Well... How'd the investigation go? Did you find anything? Yes, the investigation. I found tons of, groundbreaking stuff. Particularly that my opponent's a real scumbag. Pro voice actor. What did the prosecutor want from you anyway? Well, it was mostly just threats. He kept explaining in detail what'll happen to me if I'm found guilty. Doesn't sound like a vital discussion that needed to happen right before the trial. He probably just did that so we wouldn't have as much time to talk. You believe in me, right? I didn't do it. I never. Of course I believe you. Although, I'll be honest, things aren't looking very good right now. What's that you've got there? Oh, this is just a pictograph of Father I carry around. I just can't believe he's gone. wish I knew how to cheer her up right now. I'm not very good at handling emotional clients. Hey, you know, a pictograph could be really useful for the trial. This is how they do it in Ace Attorney. It will be. Oh, how so? It's like the least likely piece of evidence always comes in clutch. Well, you look so happy together. I could present it to show that you two had a great relationship. You really think so? Ah, well, here you go then. Malin's pictograph added to the court record. Pictograph is also an item from Majora's Mask, the game after this. At least I'll be walking in there with something other than my badge. It's another thing too in the first case in the Ace Attorney games. You start out with like nothing except your badge. I think in the second game, Phoenix Wright loses his memory. And he has nothing but his badge and he just looks at it, he's like, I'm a lawyer? The fuck? I guess I just gotta wing it type shit. But wait, we shouldn't just be idly chatting. Anyway, there's not much time left. I know it's hard to talk about, but could you tell me what actually happened? I don't stand much chance if I don't know your version of the story. I understand, unfortunately. The trial is starting. Defendant attorney, please enter the courtroom at once. Uh-oh. Shouldn't have said that stuff about having no chance. Alright, everything will be fine. The prosecutor has been playing me for a fool since this began, but sooner or later his arrogance will be his undoing. Let's head inside. My name is Link. I've been a defense attorney for the last 7 years. I've won my fair share of cases and lost some too, but this one is personal. There's so much at stake here. Not only do I have to save Malin's life, I gotta find out who did this to Talon. Talon, he was always so kind. He didn't deserve this. I need to do him justice. I can't lose this. Clutch up. The fucking cow in the audience. Court is now in session for the trial of Malin of Lon Lon Ranch. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I don't know what my Ganondorf voice is gonna be. I sincerely doubt that. What were they thinking? Pitting me against some pathetic kid? Pathetic kid? What gives you the right to... Still your tongue. You bring shame upon the fine color of your hair, vile woman. Before long... Yeah, he's zesty. Look at that. Before long, the world shall know the horrible deeds you've committed. Let us not prolong the inevitable. Shall we begin? No, this court is no place to be exchanging insults. Since the prosecution seems ready as well, let's hear the opening statement. The opening statement shall also be the closing one. The girl did it. It's obvious. She killed her own father in cold blood. After all that, also she could have the ranch to herself. Couldn't wait for the old fool to die naturally, could you, you greedy little rat? Look. Oh, that's a kid. That's a kid. Huh? Your Honor, you can't allow this man to verbally abuse the defendant like this. Objection. Ha! She committed murder, kid. She deserves every bit of scorn she gets. Imagine if someone came in here the first time, they just heard me doing the Ganondorf voice. Like, oh my god. That's true. You're like, oh my god, this guy's so zesty. I do believe a little less commentary wouldn't go amiss. Bah. I assure you, old man, you will change your opinion once you see all the damning evidence. Who is this guy? How can he speak to the judge like that? Ganondorf Dragmire. Looks like I've been lucky to avoid meeting this man until now. The stories I've heard about him must be true. A boorish barbarian of a man hailing from the Gerudo province. Apparently, he prides himself on nearly clean streak he's cultivated for decades. All while disrespecting everyone in the court, including the judge. I've even heard some attorneys refer to him as the King of Evil. It's his actual nickname in the game. Definitely has that look at the very least. Who wears full armor to court? Very well, please present your case to the court. You don't seem to like me talking, so I'll just let the detective present the basics. Who's doing the... Oh, it's Impa. Bring Impa... Oh, he's unzested. Bring Impa of the Sheikah Force to the stand. Well, here we go. The first battle. I know Impa, she's quite a competent detective. Which worries me. Please let her have made a mistake just this once. Alright, state your name and whatever it is you pretend to do. I don't have an Impa voice. I'll just do the same woman voice. You never change, do you, prosecutor? Any possible change would be for the worse. Now stop wasting time. Name and occupation. Oh man. Chunti. Very well, fool. Like, I am Impa, head detective of the Sheikah Force, Homicide Division. True for now, at least. Well, what are you waiting for? Start talking. You were the one assigned to this case, so you know all about it. What calamity has befallen our fair kingdom? Still can't be bothered to give a proper opening statement? I suppose I can do the prosecutor's job for him this time for the sake of an unbiased look. Please go ahead, detective. The incident happened early yesterday morning on Lan Lan Ranch, a local supplier of goods located just south of Gassatown. The current owner of the homestead, Dallin, was found dead in his ranch house. In La Casa. A tragic loss for our kingdom for sure. I have seen the man around Castletown a number of times delivering goods. Quiet. The owner was a rather important figure in the local community. In any case, we were alerted to the scene of the murder by the Royal Guard, who were there on official business. Official business? What kind? As I understand, the ranch provides the kingdom with vital services. To ensure it is operating as it should, as a gesture of appreciation, the crown orders a visitation to the ranch every year. I see. A scheduled annual visit. Continue, detective. When the Sheikah force arrived, they found the victim bleeding out onto the floor. Next to him lay his daughter Malin, breathing but unresponsive. After a thorough investigation, we arrested her as she was deemed the only possible culprit. That about covers the gist of what happened. Very nice and suctioned. Keep that up and perhaps you will keep your job. Ho, I don't think the good detective here has to worry much about that, given she is the head of the department. Which reminds me, why is the head of detectives herself on a case like this? Were the other detectives unavailable? Ah, that would be because I have been assigned to this case by the order of the King of Hyrule himself. The King of himself society that doesn't happen very often, does it? You are correct, Your Honor. I am usually not involved in field work like this. This time, however, the King felt it necessary because of who is involved. Who is involved? Is the death of a ranch worker really such a concern for the King? Well, as I said, Lon Lon Ranch is a very important supplier of goods, to be sure. But that's not who I mean. I imagine the king wanted to top investigators on this job because it was the royal princess herself who discovered the crime scene. So now she's gonna be in deep water. Order, I will have order! The royal princess Zelda witnessed the crime. Ha, and there you have it. This case rides on the princess's own words. To doubt it would be to doubt your own royalty. This is bad. I can't really object to that. Very well. If the princess is testifying today, it's better we don't make her needlessly wait. Detective, please testify about exactly why the defendant was arrested. This is when you press the witness, I guess. Witness testimony. Oh, they do the Hylian text. That's cool. They have their own little alphabet. It is with regret that I agree with Dragmeyer. All the evidence points toward the girl being the culprit. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch. The victim, the defendant, and a worker who was an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. She seemed like such a bright girl. It's most unfortunate. Your Honor, I would like to submit these pieces of evidence to the court. First, I have the autopsy report performed by the ground stop coroner. That's in the actual game, that's Zelda's letter that you give to her. Sup, Bravali? How you doing? Famous Sonic Racing Cross Peak streamer Bravali. Autopsy report added to the court record. Here's what we determined to be the murder weapon, which we took from the defendant's hands. Saw, that's the carpenter's saw in the desert. To make sure we had the correct weapon, we conducted a very thorough investigation. Naturally, we searched everyone and thoroughly examined the ranch and its vicinity. Nothing unusual was found, but to be safe, we also checked the ranch's inventory list to see whether anything was missing. The list matches the items we found on the ranch exactly, and nothing but the saw had fresh blood on it. Okay, that's something. Wouldn't that be something? That does sound quite compelling. This must have been a truly terrifying scene. Dying from a wound made by a weapon like this is extremely painful. He would know. This only helps to prove the defendant's viciousness. At this rate, they're going to paint Mal as some heartless monster. There is one more thing I feel I should mention for the sake of completeness. Shortly after we arrived at the ranch, a courier showed up to take some milk shipments. Of course, business must go on. Is this really necessary to enter into evidence, though? The shipments did up leaving the ranch, so I feel it bears mentioning. Were the contents checked before you let them go? Naturally. Who do you take us for, fool? Nah, you're big time, Rivali. I told you, every time I come in, you got more followers. Shit's rolling in. Even though the worker handling the shipments did get quite worked up about it, we cracked all the boxes open to check what was inside. In the end, it did turn out to only be milk bottles, so we let them through. Very well, thank you for your thoroughness, detective. Milk. So, what happens now? Well, this is where I step in and perform a cross-examination. Ah, great. How does that work? Huh? Could you explain what you're going to be doing? Can't hurt to go over this again. Well, I know how it works, but we'll listen. Witnesses will repeat their testimony. I'll be able to scroll back and forth through individual statements by pressing A and B, or with the D-pad in the joystick. They'll just repeat as many times as you want? That's right. I have to consider every little detail. Can't miss a thing. If I want more info about something, I can use L or Z to press the statement and ask the witness a question. Oh, this remix is sick. It's the owl theme. Mixed with... I think this is an Ace Attorney jingle. Grill them for info! Yep. Since the witness has to come up with an answer on the spot, if they're lying, prompting for more info can make them slip up. Most importantly though, if I find something that doesn't line up with the evidence, I can press R to bring up the court record. The court record is basically a list of all the evidence, right? Yes. I can open it at any time if I need to recheck the facts. After choosing the contradicting item, I'll press up, to raise an objection and present my doubts to the court. Oh, and I can not only present evidence, but profiles as well. Profiles? The court record contains a list of all people involved, too. I can switch between evidence and profiles with R. If I need to review what's been said recently, I can also press start to see a history of messages. Oh, I see. That makes sense. Is the defense done whispering? Haha, sorry. If you're so upset about it, why doesn't he just press C right to skip ahead? The defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Bah. A waste of time. I sincerely hope you're not implying that standard court procedure is a waste of time, Mr. Dragmire. In any case, we're ready, defense. Please bring in the cross-examination. The gaming's been going well. I actually have been playing Link to the Past, because I never played it all the way through. Those sick portraits. Yeah, I never played all the way through. I just got the Master Sword and went up the tower, fought the first Aghanim, got sent to the Dark World. That's where I stopped. Game's peak. I gotta take a water break. This is a lot of talking. Now I gotta piss, but I'm gonna hold it. Yeah, it's nice to have you here, my boy. You arrived for peak. And actually good game and not Winnie the Pooh. No, I like Piglet's big game. It's just wanted to stream this more, to be honest. We need some herbal tea after this shit. Alright, let's press. Hey! Hold it! What makes you think she's the culprit? Objection. She's just about to tell you. Keep quiet and listen. Oh, right. Sorry. Indeed, as I was saying. Ooh. Hold it! And just how did you do that? It's quite simple. There was no blood found anywhere else. Had the victim been attacked at some other location, we'd expect a trail of it leading to the scene. Couldn't the killer have just cleaned it all up? Certainly not. The path to the ranch house at Lon Lon Ranch is not paved in any way. Cleaning blood off the ground would require disturbing the soil. Naturally, we found nothing of the sort. Clean blood off the ground. Okay. Bah. There wouldn't have been enough time to pull it off anyway. Likely true. Alright, it sounds like the location of the crime scene is pretty firm, but I'm not giving up yet. Three people, you say? I guess that would have to be Mystery and Go. Let me stop you before you start getting too excited. If you had listened to the rest of what the detective said, you'd notice she mentioned an alibi. Indeed, we're pretty certain that the ranch worker couldn't have been involved. Well, what is his alibi then? You might remember that I brought up some outgoing milk shipments? Well, the worker Ingo was in charge of them. He left the ranch house first thing in the morning and was busy preparing the shipments after that. After all that, shut up. Is that so? Surely he could have gotten away from that for one really quick little murder. Bah, this wouldn't just be a quick little murder as you so crudely put it. He'd have to have taken steps to hide his involvement too. There was definitely not enough time for that. Unfortunately, I agree. Preparing a shipment is a lot of work. You have to milk all the cows, clean all the bottles, pour the milk into them, arrange them all into crates, finally load it all up into a wagon. Usually I had to do it together with Father to finish before the courier arrived. These shipments were already ready when we arrived at the ranch. When we checked the boxes, they were all fully loaded with filled milk bottles. So this Ingo was able to do the work of 2 people all on his own? Isn't that a bit odd? Odd or not, he evidently did just that. Clearly, he's a man dedicated to his job. Or perhaps the girl and her father are just very inefficient. This whole thing seems awfully suspicious if you ask me, but I guess I have nothing to dispute it with. Malin fainted? Correct. We gonna get her to wake up for a long time? Eventually we decided to administer a healing fairy so she could be questioned. I guess finding the body was just that much of a shock, huh? Ha! Probably just pretending, trying to make it look like she had merely found the body. In any event... yeah. Weapon. And how can you be so sure of this? Look at the autopsy report. Deep, irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. He's holding the murder weapon. The saw was the only sharp implement in the ranch house that could produce such a wound. And as I've already mentioned, we also looked closely at all the other sharpenings on the ranch. None had recent blood on them. Used the milk to get rid of the blood. I don't know. That still doesn't necessarily mean the saw was the murder weapon. Maybe the real culprit hid the real one. Oh yeah, prove it then. Show us the real murder weapon. Well, I definitely don't have any way to do that. Still, something bothers me about that saw. So you have nothing? What a waste of time. She sure is. We've known each other for years. Yet she murdered her father in cold blood? How curious. Perhaps you're just bad judges of character, both of you. No way. Just give me some time and I'm going to prove it. Okay, I have an idea. Do you say anything wrong yet? Well, usually it's difficult to find anything wrong with the basic facts of the case. That said, I do think I saw one small thing. Really? That's great. It sure is, because I've got to poke all the holes I can find before the princess gets here. So, here's what I'm thinking. Definitely it's on the one... Which one was it? I don't think we have anything for the alibi. It is odd that Ingo is able to do the job of 2 people. And he's probably in on it. But I can't prove that yet. So this is the one I want to show something on. She was holding a weapon that was used, what was used to kill the victim. But I might have something for this. I don't think I can use that yet. The light medallion being the badge is cool. Deep irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. Victim died from loss of blood no later than 8 AM. I could present this because it doesn't specify that it's a saw. It only says sharp metal object. The saw's not exactly sharp, I guess. I mean, it probably is. It's a saw, but This says clean of blood too. Yeah, this says clean of blood. If it was the murder weapon, there'd be blood. Like remnants of blood on it. So I could show either this or this. Yeah, I mean it does look sharp, so. Ranch inventory. Oh, here we go. Rakes, garden hose. Hose can be sharp. Buckets, hammers, knives. Yeah. Axes. Pretty sharp if you ask me. It's gotta be this, yeah. I mean, what else could it be? I can look at profiles just for the hell of it. I don't think I need to show any of these though. Yeah, it's gotta be the ranch inventory. Let's do it. Objection. What do you think of this statement, Your Honor? What do I think of it? Why do you ask? Well, I have this evidence here. Don't listen to him, Judge. That evidence has nothing to do with what's being discussed. Are you serious? Really? Oh, don't worry, I knew that. Attorneys always seem to ask what I think when they have no idea what they're talking about. Drat. For real, though? Maybe it's a different one. The murder definitely took place inside the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch. The victim, the defendant, and a worker who has an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious. I'll try to present the saw, since it says it was clean of blood. I think I was trying to go for the 5-headed thing, and I just need to go back to basics. Because it also said like loss of blood. Which, you know. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. Huh. Seems like a fairly large oversight. I just want to make sure of something. The statement the saw is currently in... Wait, statement? The state the saw is currently in is how you found it at the crime scene? That's correct. That's strange, considering how much the victim bled out and how deep this wound was. Why is there no blood on the supposed murder weapon? Ah. Ha, is that all you have? Huh? Naturally, the prosecution has an explanation for why the saw is clean. Behold, this cloth was found in the defendant's other hand. As you can plainly see, it is stained with blood. The defendant simply wiped the murder weapon in a futile attempt to hide her involvement. What? If Mal was trying to hide her involvement, why didn't she just leave the crime scene? Bah. Obviously, she was trying to hide the body before the royal visitation arrived at the ranch. Unfortunately for her, it just so happened that the delegation arrived quite a bit earlier than scheduled. In a panic, she quickly wiped the saw off and pretended to faint to make it look like she just stumbled upon the scene. Gah.
Young lady, things are not looking very good for you right now. The court accepts the bloody cloth into evidence.
Oh my lord. So, what's the story with this cloth? Well, as I was doing a final check around the ranch, I noticed that part of the fence around the horse paddock was damaged. Not entirely sure when that happened, but sometimes one of the horses just gets a bit too rowdy, you know? Right. Anyway, I don't want to bother Mr. Ingo about it, so I tried to cut up a new rail by myself to patch it up. But then the saw slipped and I cut my hand open. Oh, goddesses, are you okay? Well, it wasn't that bad. It did bleed quite a lot though, so I used that cloth to quickly bandage the wound. I was actually going into the ranch house to ask Father to help me with the fence. Ha, a likely story. And impossible to verify now, of course. The Sheikah force had to use a fairy on the defendant to get her out of her supposed unconsciousness. Rivali did it? Spoiler alert, dude. I do have to give her some credit. She is one cunning woman. She knew that would explain the sudden lack of any wound on her hand.
Ho ho, why yes, fairies are wonderful. Just the other day I slammed my hand with a gavel, and one took the pain off immediately.
Great. Glad to know they're used for such important things. But, dang it. Too bad there's no way to tell whose blood is on the cloth. DNA test, please. I do believe this matter has been settled. I am ready to call my next witness. Uh-oh. Is that all I can get out of her? You've served your purpose, Sheikah. Be gone. Fine. But you had best treat her highness with respect. I'll see to it that you spend yeah. Do not presume to threaten me, Sheikah. A night of darkness and solitude would be nothing but comfort for me. Is that so? Then perhaps we should fill the dungeons with lit candles for the occasion. They're glaring daggers at each other. If this doesn't end soon, we're all in trouble.
Order, order. I'm sure we'll treat the princess with the utmost respect. You may step down, detective.
This case has already made me weary with all the pointless jabber. The time is ripe to deal the final blow. I call Her Highness Princess Zelda of Hyrule to the stand. I don't know what voice to use for Zelda, brother. I'm not gonna lie. What voice should I use? Rivali, help me. Chris is sleeping. I don't know. I need to reach into my bag of voices and figure something out. I could just use a stupid voice, like, well, not like all of mine aren't stupid, but here's something the matter. No, that's too much. There's this one voice that Rick did when he was streaming Fire Emblem. I forget which one it was. Either 6 or 7. Not even memeing, it was actually either 6 or 7. Maybe it was 7 or 8. I don't know. Is it raining? Is it fucking raining outside? He did this voice, it was so funny. It was like, it sounded like this. And he just, I don't know. I'll just do my standard girl voice for this. Is something the matter? Why is everyone quiet all of a sudden?
Ah, your highness. I believe we're all just a bit uncertain of how to proceed. It is quite the honor to have such an esteemed guest in these halls.
Bah. In the face of the law, the princess is no different from a peasant. Name and occupation, now. The prosecution will behave. I will not have any derogatory statements directed at Abritas. Derogatory? I simply wish not to waste any more time. We must employ proper procedure. Oh man. It is alright, Detective. I believe the prosecution does have a point. What if I just did Kermit voice, like... In the eyes of the law, we are all equals. On this stand, I am just another witness. I should not be getting any special treatment. Very admirable, Your Highness. We can all rest easy knowing that Hyrule is destined to have such a wise monarch in its future. Yes, indeed. I eagerly await the day when our next ruler takes the throne and reshapes the kingdom in their image. Ugh. You flatter me, prosecutor. Now then, I believe I was asked for my name and occupation. I am Zelda, current princess of Hyrule and heir apparent to the throne.
Marvelous, Your Highness. Before we begin, I would just like to know why were you at Lon Lon Ranch to witness the terrible incidents?
Ah, it is simple, really. Lon Lon Ranch is Hyrule Castletown's biggest fruit supplier. Not only that, but the ranch also equips Hyrule's royal guard with the finest of horses. Every year, the royal family makes a visit. So why did I just get Ohio there? As a gesture of goodwill and to ensure the quality of the seeds. Wow, I didn't know your horses were used by the royal guard. Royal guard? Yep, we work hard every year to make sure they're in the best possible condition. Father loved to boast about it to the other ranch owners. Ha. Knowing Talon, I'm sure he did. How unfortunate that the ranch may no longer meet the oh my god, I'm having a seizure. The crown's high standards under new management. The royal family has a backup, I trust? We are looking for one. Quick water break. Naturally, those standards are quite high.
Yes, yes, of course. Now then, please describe what you saw on the day of the incident.
Very well. Here I go. The scene behind the door. I arrived at Lon Lon Lanch a little after 8 a.m., accompanied by the Royal Guard. No. They mixed me up. Whatever. Oops, wrong button. I remember being surprised how quiet everyone was. There was nobody there to welcome us. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiling. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I was overcome with fear and I screamed. I will never forget what I saw that day. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would convince. What?
Oh my, you saw the very moment the victim was killed?
There you go. Decisive testimony. As there is no need to doubt the princess's statement, I call for the judge to make a ruling right away. Hey now, hold on. I didn't get to cross-examine the witness yet. You haven't, fool, because there is no need. Did you not hear one word of what I said? Didn't you just say we should follow all the procedures and treat the princess like any other witness? This is the defense's right. You complete.
Well, I believe the defense has a point. They do have every right to perform a cross-examination no matter who is testifying.
I was quite looking forward to this part myself. I've only ever read about court proceedings in the Royal Library.
That being said, I will not tolerate any reckless accusations toward the princess. Is that clear?
Naturally, Your Honor. How am I going to cross-examine the princess? This isn't going to end well. What's gotten into the prosecutor? That seemed like a rather intense outburst. Well, I do have a guess. Oh? Because of the princess's status, it's possible that Dragmire didn't have an opportunity to discuss her testimony with her. That might mean that this testimony is a surprise even to him. This could be my chance.
Before we begin, there's just one thing that caught my attention. I believe the princess mentioned seeing some kind of glass bottle at the crime scene.
That would be this, I presume? Why, yes, that is exactly it. What is that? Oh, this is the bottle of perfume the father intended to gift to Her Highness when she arrived. He quickly rode out of town to get it at the last moment. We didn't know that the princess was coming instead of the king until only 2 hours before the visitation. Oh, how thoughtful. He really did not need to bother himself so. As fascinating as this all is, the prosecution doesn't believe it's relevant to the case. It's good to have a full picture of the crime scene. The defense requests the bottle be accepted into evidence. Bah. Desperate to latch onto every little thing, are you? Whatever. You can add it to the evidence if it'll make you happy. No skin off my teeth.
In that case, the court accept this bottle into evidence. Now then, defense, begin your cross-examination.
I have to piss really badly now, so... You want to go first? Okay, I'm gonna go piss. I'll be right back. voice is good. I was assuming I could get this stuff going straight. But, good God. Okay. Let's press the witness. If these guards were with Her Highness, why were they not called as witnesses? We did question the guards, naturally. Apparently they didn't get to see anything relevant. I was the only one to enter the crime scene. After seeing what was inside, I stood guard and insisted that no one allowed inside until the Shiga Force arrived. I have read that preserving the scene is vital. Quite correct. I'm sure the guards were absolutely thrilled with this order.
Please proceed, witness.
What did she just say? I forgot. I went to Lon Ranch a little after 8 a.m. Oh, I already know. She couldn't have witnessed the murder take place because the court record says the victim died from loss of blood no later than 8 a.m. And now here she is saying she arrived a little after 8 a.m. And then she later says that she witnessed the murder. So as far as which of these I present on, I don't know. I'm going to press on every statement just to get all the dialogue. But that should be what it is. Have you conducted these royal visitations in the past, Your Highness? No, this was my first one. Up until last year, my father was always the one to visit Lon Ranch. However, he decided I had to start preparing for all the royal duties that await me, and so I was able to do it this time. You will doubtlessly perform admirably as ruler when the time comes. Oh my god, the glazing is unreal. What happened when you got into the ranch house? Yep. And? What then? Stop interfering and let her get to the point.
Defense, I believe this was clear about not badgering the witness, damn it.
You're right, I need to calm down. I don't know if you... Sometimes, like... In some cases, usually later in the game, you can lose a heart for... Well, it's like a gauge. In the Ace Attorney games, you lose some of your gauge for pressing witnesses when you shouldn't. I don't know if this is one of those cases, but I'm just gonna keep pressing. You paid attention to something like that after seeing a murder princess? Well, I spent a rather long time in there waiting for the Sheikah Force to arrive. Plus, that bottle is quite beautiful. It just stood out. Maybe this one I'll present. You were there at the exact time of the murder, Your Highness? That is correct. That's impossible. You're lying.
The defendant will cover outbursts. You're addressing royalty.
This is really bad. What now? Don't accuse Zelda of the crime. No. Where were the victim and the defendant at this time? The ranch owner was in front of a little table that was directly across from the entrance door. The defendant was right in front of him and quickly fainted after her attack. A large pool of blood started forming where the victim was. I had a rather good view of the whole scene. Right.
It is as unfortunate as it is fortunate that you could see the whole thing in such detail. Now, please continue.
Should I ask something else? Yeah, about what was outside. Are you sure there wasn't anyone else at the ranch, Your Highness?
No. The palace looked empty.
The place, the palace.
Although I did later see a worker pull up a loaded wagon when the courier came asking about milk shipments. He caused a little bit of a scene when the Sheikah force started inspecting it. That worker must have been somewhere else on the ranch, I suppose.
Why was there resistance when they wanted to check the boxes, though? The ranch is pretty large. Said worker was inside the building on the other side. It is quite understandable she wouldn't have seen him until later. Shut up. Drat. This really doesn't give me a whole lot to work with. Should I ask something else? No. That's enough. Are you sure you got a good look then, Your Highness? You didn't look away in panic? The princess was very brave to take control of the situation the way she did. There is no need to doubt what she saw. You need something? Uh oh. Might have been raining. It's kind of like dark. Ah, yes, I suppose what she did was admirable. If only we had arrived earlier. Your Highness, don't blame yourself for this. If you'd arrived earlier, you could have been the one that got attacked. Ha! So you would have lashed out at anyone trying to stop you, huh? Despicable. That's not what she meant, and you know it. Princess, please go on. Very well. I know what I must do. Trust your heart, Your Highness. You know Malin didn't do this. What nonsense. Her heart? What do her organs have to do with anything? Oh, of course. Evidence and testimony be damned. Just because we feel the defendant must be innocent.
Oh, well, it was so then not a good days, but
Have you gone senile, old man? It was a joke, much like the arguments the defense has been presenting. I can't believe the princess would lie like this. Yeah, it really is shocking. You don't believe her, right? Even if she's the princess, that means nothing. I didn't do it. To trust authority or your best friend. I'll need something very concrete to disprove what the princesses say. So it's either this one or the first one. The first one says the time, so that one might be it. I don't mind losing a heart. But this is the one where Link was really starting to question more. So I think I'll present it on this one. Yeah, okay, good. You know you're correct when the music stops. I was wondering if it would do it in this, because the first time I presented evidence it was wrong, so the music kept playing, but now I know. Your Honor, Your Highness, I believe I've found something that doesn't quite match up with the facts. How dare you question it?
you will let the defense speak, prosecutor.
I think I see why he so desperately wanted to prevent this cross-examination now. Your Highness, you stated that you arrived at the ranch shortly after 8 a.m., correct?
Yes, the visit was scheduled for 8:30 exactly, but we were quite a bit early.
I see. That makes something you mentioned quite impossible. As stated by the autopsy report, the victim definitely died before 8 a.m. You couldn't have seen the defendant attack the ranch owner when you arrived, because the victim was already dead by then. What up, AJ? Well, you know what? He talks in this game. He learned how to speak so he could be a lawyer. Order, order. Yes, you've really caught her in a lie. Your Highness, what is the meaning of this? Well, I wholeheartedly respect and serve the crown, I will nonetheless not tolerate lies in my court.
I've not lied, I just...
She's probably mistaken about the time.
I suppose I did not see the exact moment it happened. I guess I only thought I did.
Princess, this is a matter of life and death.
Yeah, I definitely saw the defendant there, though, along with the body. There is no one else who could have done it. I remember all the other details correctly. The body's on the floor, the pool of blood. You have to believe me.
Perhaps it'll be best if Her Highness revises her testimony. Ugh, that's not good. There's still not enough doubt to overturn this testimony. I'll have to find something else or this case will be over. I think I'll read it before I press. So, if anyone's just listening, it'll go along more smoothly. So I'm not gonna read this part. Or I'll just read it in normal voice, just quickly peruse it. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack, but it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Mount and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. Give us a short one. That's not true though, because they said there was an alibi. Mr. Ingo was at the scene. I see, you only saw the aftermath of the scene, not the actual crime being committed. Oh, very well. Hopefully there are no issues in your testimony this time. Defense, it's time for a cross-examination. Naturally, Your Honor. Dragmeyer still looks pretty angry. I bet he didn't expect such a blatant contradiction to pop up. If I could just find another one like that, the princess's testimony would become completely untrustworthy in the eyes of the judge.
I'm sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit.
Why did you do that, Your Highness? There's a life on the line here.
I really am sorry. I suppose I got a little bit too excited about being a witness in an actual murder trial.
You masochist. Really now? Most people hate testifying.
Yes, well, the life of a princess is rather boring, you know. This is quite the break from the routine for me.
Should just get a hobby then.
I did not see the actual moment of the attack.
In that case, it can't be conclusively proven that the defendant did it. Defense, did you exhaust your singular brain cell on that last contradiction you found? There's a dead mountain's worth of evidence pointing to the defendant. Just because no one saw the actual moment of the crime doesn't mean anyone else could have done it. I think you're masking and... Fuck. Masking? This is Ocarina of Time, not Majora's Mask. I think you're making a death mountain out of a death molehill.
But it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house.
How can you be so sure of that, Princess?
Well, when I entered the ranch house, the victim still had the murder weapon embedded into his body.
It's not true. I mean, it could be true. We could not know the facts as they were laid out. What? After all that?
It's obvious what that means, is it not? The killer did not even have enough time to try to hide the weapon. Yes, I might not have seen the murder firsthand, but I must have been very close to doing so. Oh my. This seems like a very important detail. I think it would be advisable for Her Highness to amend her testimony. Certainly, Your Honor.
That's how you fucked up, though. Interesting. Dragmire certainly doesn't look very happy about this development, does he? Thinking about it, I might just know why.
The murder weapon was still stuck into the victim's body after all.
That doesn't necessarily mean that my client was the one to do it, though. What if someone else snuck in before Malin and the princess arrived?
Well, I suppose.
Malin Ranch is surrounded by high walls, and the only way in it is through a self-locking gate. Not very many people have a key to that gate, just the person on the crown. Well, someone could have forced their way in. Bah. If you wish to propose such a possibility, you must substantiate it with evidence. Do you have any proof that another person showed up at the ranch house before the princess? Yeah. Yeah. Do I? I do. Of course I do. The piece of evidence that shows another person was at the scene of the crime is... Didn't it say in the court record? It said somewhere. The milk shipments. I mean, I could use that because Zelda herself said that the royal guard came, or like someone from the royal family came after the murder to pick up the crates, and Ingo was really dodgy about it. Why is Dragmire zesty? Do you see his what do they call him? His little animations? He's definitely zesty. His little fingered. That man is zesty. It's either the milk shipments or it could be the pictograph. It's like one. I have the evidence, I know for sure. See, like, he's in it, but then you have... This says some orders of milk that left the ranch a little while after the crime. They picked it up from Ingo. Ingo was there. I don't know if this says anything. I mean, this says Ingo in it too. I'm gonna show the milk shipments. I think. No, I think I can feel the vibes out from playing all the Ace Attorney games that was not it. These are the traces of another person on the scene. Ha. That just shows you have no trace of evidence to go on.
Yes, defense, I'm afraid I can't really trace your logic.
Well, you see,
Please try to keep at least a trace of... Fuck.
Submit. No. No. Are you sure Malin was the only person there other than the victim? From what I recall, there's an upstairs room at the ranch house. What if someone was hiding there? Oh! Don't be stupid, Defense. If someone was hiding up there, the Sheikah Force would have found them.
I stood guard at the door the entire time. No one could have left.
What if they jumped out a window?
Do not be ridiculous. Those windows are very high up.
Actually, those windows can't even be open. They'd have to break one to leave. Right. Well, this is a little more plausible than the last testimony she gave. Yes, I suppose it matches the detective's account, doesn't it? Still, I feel like something here sticks out like a sore thumb. Yeah, and I know what it is, but it's just presented the wrong thing. It was this one, I think. No, it was this one. No, it was this one. I mean, I could also. Because if she were to wipe the saw, how would she wipe the saw if it was still in his body? You know what I'm saying? Right? Back me up on this one, guys. But I don't know if I'm supposed to press that one where he asks if I have evidence, because I do have evidence for that too. Thank you, thank you. Of course I'm right. But yeah, I think this would definitely show that Zelda was mistaken again. Shit, I'm going for it. Yes, the music stopped. I believe I found another reason to doubt the witness's words. It seems the prosecution sees what I'm getting at here. There was a bloody cloth discovered at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has argued before that it was used to wipe the saw clean. If the princess saw the saw lodged in the Talon's body and the crime scene was left intact, then it couldn't have been wiped. Well, Prosecutor Dragmeyer, care to explain? I'm gonna drink water again. That's piss again. That's good.
This is most perplexing. Your Highness, are you sure that's what you saw?
Well, maybe the princess decided to pull the saw out in a valiant yet futile attempt to save the victim? And then wipe the blade clean?
That would be almost like framing the defendant. Of course I did no such thing. I made sure the crime scene stayed intact.
Oh.
I guess I must have made a memory about the saw sticking out of Mr. Talon as well.
You idiotic girl. Do you even realize what you've done to your bumbling?
I am sorry. And I was just so excited to stand as a witness in court. Or I tried telling my father about anything. He always seemed so disinterested. Just this once I wanted to feel listened to. The defendant, it is clear that she did it. I just wanted to play a larger part in their capture. I am sorry for the trouble I have caused you all. Your Highness, the court is no place for silly games. As it stands, I'm afraid we'll have to strike our statements for the court record completely.
Yes, I did it. Prosecution lost their key witness.
No, please wait. I have more to say. I was wrong about the crime scene, but I still have not testified about what I saw afterwards.
Bah. Why would we care about that? It's best that you leave and stop damaging my case with your idiocy.
Even if you are not interested in my words, you might be interested in the evidence I found.
What? Huh?
Evidence? Of course. While the Sheikah force investigated inside the ranch house, I looked around the rest of the ranch on my own.
Sheikah, did you know about this? course I did.
You did? I'll have your head for this.
Oh, well, what is the meaning of this, detective? Why have you withheld this from the court?
It is quite simple. The princess specifically requested to present her finding on her own.
What? And you agreed to this? This court is not some playground where children decide when evidence should be presented just because they have a crown.
He's being rude about it, but I can't help but agree with Dragmire on this one. Also, I don't really buy this story. There's no way Impa would have allowed this. Believe me, I wasn't thrilled with the request either. However, after seeing the evidence in question, I didn't think it would be at all important to the case. Thus, I let the princess have her turn. Okay, fine.
This is highly irregular. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Prosecutor?
Bah, naturally I object to this nonsense. If the detective thinks he's... It's probably just a waste of time. All the evidence points to the defendant. It's still clear she did it, even without a witness at the scene.
I see. Defense.
What do we do?
If we object to presenting the evidence, then Dragmire loses his key witness. Plus, whatever the princess presents could be bad for our case, too.
So we should agree with the prosecution?
Well, on the other hand, we don't really have much to go on. This could be our only lead left.
Well, don't.
Whoa, I used the judge voice for Zestmeyer.
Well, don't keep us waiting. Surely, you won't throw away all the progress you made thus far.
What do I do? Request that fucking evidence. I really hope this is the right choice. The defense requests that the evidence be presented.
What?
While I agree that the situation is irregular, we should still examine all evidence available. It would be silly to dismiss it as irrelevant without even seeing what it is.
I do believe you have a point, defense. However, I must warn you. In order to admit this piece of evidence to the court record, the princess's statement that she found it must be admitted as testimony along with everything else she might say.
Yes, Your Honor, I am well aware. The defense wishes to give the princess just one more chance.
Of all the idiotic
Order! Very well, then. Your Highness, please testify once more about the new piece of evidence you found during your own investigation.
Thank you. I will not let you down this time. I promise.
The princess should understand the gravity of the situation at hand now. I just hope this new evidence isn't damaging to our case. I will do the same thing. Just to express my heartfelt apologies for thinking their testimony upon the other in the ranch house. The passed out in front of it was bleeding out. I still guarded the entrance to the ranch house until Sheikah Force arrived. Once Sheikah started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, a strong odor there. I had to stop to see where it was coming from. I followed the scent and found a burned out fire nearby and a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. Yeah, you're lying. That's probably what the star bottle was. There was lamp oil in the star bottle. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Fuck.
Ah! Is something wrong?
That's piss, Zelda. That's piss. They pissed in the bottle. Oh no, this might actually be completely irrelevant.
Yes, well,
Of course there is, foolish girl. That has nothing to do with anything. Your great finding is some random fire on a ranch? Please. What next? Are you going to declare every rake on the premises suspicious? Well,
The prosecution will calm down.
This is bad. Your Honor, despite the fact that this evidence might not seem to add anything at the moment, the defense still asserts there's right to cross-examination. Some straws have been grasped. Why must you insist on this charade, defense? The princess has merely recounted the same view of the crime as the head detective. You haven't been able to find any contradictions in her statements. I believe there might be a way to tie the princess's new evidence into the case. Ridiculous!
Regardless of what prosecution thinks, the defense does have right to cross-examination. The court admits the bottle with the oil and the evidence. I just really hope this isn't a complete waste of time, defense. For both your own sake and the client's.
It's time for a piss break. The quickest piss break ever. Why did I put her on my cat bag?
I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistakes in the earlier testimony.
Oh. There's no need to my fucking blanket. Oh. There's no need to press the witness on her apology. You already wasted the chance to throw out her testimony.
Yes, defense. Please get to the point.
Yike. Just playing today. Just playing.
Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant passed out in front of the victim who was bleeding out.
Crow 7:30. Was there anything else in the room?
Only the beautiful little crystal bottle I mentioned before. The house was rather barren. Most of our things are on the top floor since the downstairs room is mostly used for ranch business these days.
In the occasional game.
Ah, of course. Dad's famous Kuko game.
Reference? The good old days.
Is the defense done reminiscing? There will be plenty of time to do that when the defendant's behind bars.
I was just trying to distract myself from the fact that there's nothing to latch on to here.
I stood guard in the entrance of the ranch house until the Sheikah force arrived.
Did anything happen during that time?
No, not that I recall. The guards did occasionally protest and asked me to let them take over when I held my stance.
While commendable in theory, staying in the same room as a dangerous killer isn't very wise. What if she woke up and lashed out at you?
Sweet highly up above.
That thought did not occur to me.
Bah, of course not. Foolish girl.
But the guards did stand close by. I would,
Wonderful to see how much faith our princess has in our royal guard.
Yes, of course I do. In any case. Once the Sheikah started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch.
You didn't just go home?
The royal visitation was supposed to last a little longer. Father was not expecting us back at the castle till much later. I came to the ranch to examine the horses, so I suppose I could have...
How long did it take the Sheikah to arrive at the scene?
It does not take very long to make the trip from Hyrule Castle Town to Lon Lon Ranch. I cannot imagine it was more than 20 minutes.
That is pretty fast. Although I imagine the fact that the princess was involved helped speed it up.
Slowpokes, I would be there in half that time, running backwards even.
Reference. When you walk backwards, you go faster.
I suppose it's no surprise though, Hylian horses are naturally inferior to our fine Gerudo steeds. The Gerudo buy horses from our ranch too.
Just don't bother, he's trying to rile you up. Rage bait. It worked.
When I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop to see where it was coming from.
What was the smell like?
Oh, it was awful. A really terrible stench.
Baha! Surely you don't mean to say that you found the smell of horse manure suspicious.
Do not be ridiculous. The smell was not coming from the horses. I followed the scent and found a burned out fire nearby in a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil.
A fire, huh?
Now let me remind you, Defense, that there's any number of reasons why a fire could have been there. You can still feel the cold grasp of death early in the morning. Fuck.
Princess, how long would you estimate the fire had been out before you found it?
Right, there was still smoke rising on the ashes, so it must have been put out recently.
So around the time of the crime.
So someone prepared their breakfast there. I repeat, this fire is irrelevant.
I think he's realized the same thing I did. Well, who was it? Who could have lit that fire anyway?
It would have to have been the ranch worker who was putting the milk shipments together at the time. It was almost certainly him. If you really want to ask about this little barbecue, you might just get your wish soon.
Doesn't sound like it was very appetizing. But without anything concrete to pin on him, he'll just be able to brush it off.
She's not zesty. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective.
Right. She allowed you to present it?
Well, I was the one to find it, and since I was going to the trial anyway...
Utter ridiculousness. With Rob Deerdick.
Yes. Please make this the last time you do something like this, Your Highness. Proper procedurally this for a reason. Folk.
Yes, I understand.
It's the Deku seed effect on that mallet.
Difference? I believe that is enough. It doesn't seem like you're getting any closer to finding a connection between this fire and the crime at all.
No, I suppose not, Your Honor.
Naturally, I said this was a waste of time from the beginning.
In that case, this cross-examination is over. Thank you for your time, Your Highness. I assume you have no more revelations to share with us.
No, I do not. I really thought the fire would be important.
Leave my sight. You know, Your Highness, if you allow me to escort you back to Hyrule Castle.
Very well.
Now that the princess's little game is over, we should move this along. The prosecution's stance is still the same, of course. What up, Loki? Brandishing a knife in court. It could be the murder weapon. We maintain that the evidence on its own is enough to convict the defendant.
I do believe I'm really ready to hand down my verdict.
But, Your Honor, there's nothing that definitively shows that Malin committed the crime. This is all circumstantial. There's no way she could kill her own father.
Bro, that's an excellent point, defense. The prosecution has yet to elaborate on the defendant's motive. Patricide is not something a person commits lightly.
Bah, I did briefly touch on the subject during my opening statement. But naturally, the prosecution is fully prepared to elaborate on the matter. I would like to call in my third witness. That has to be that ranch worker. Before calling him in, though, the prosecution requests a brief recess to prepare. I thought you said you were already prepared. Maybe he wants to double check that his new witness won't pull anything weird like the princess did.
Very well, I do believe break benefit us all. I need to take a shit. Court is adjourned.
The wishy-washy judge. It's not going all that well, is it? No, I think that went about as well as it could have, actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony as untrue.
Ugh, I can't believe she just makes stuff up like that.
Yeah, that was surprising. Still, the issue is we didn't manage to shake the core of the argument. If only there was anyone else in that house. I don't know who this is, so I'm not gonna do a voice. Now, there's no need to look so glum. Oh. Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? The garage is beyond prepared. I thought I'd drop by in the meantime. You really managed to make Dragmire furious, you know? I have. If you listen carefully, you might just be able to hear him ranting over the prosecutor's lobby. Oh. Heard him. I hope no one heard that. Ah. He's really giving his up on his witness a grilling. Expecting to try to shut you down as fast as he can. Well, that would be worrying if I had anything he could shut down in the first place, I guess. Oh, but you do? What do you mean? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. The fire? I wasn't able to do anything with that. You really think it's relevant? Don't get me wrong, at present I am convinced that girl did it. We investigated and I came to this conclusion for a reason.
But
Looking like the fish and chips guy, yeah. That last case with him was crazy, by the way. That in Greatest Attorney 2, that shit was wild. But I am willing to explore every possibility. That fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say it might be your only way to get out of these. If I may be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the wrench at the time, he is the only one who could have made that fire. Oh. If he is hiding something, I think the court deserved to know. The thing is, the next testimony is about the motive. It's going to be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmeyer objecting. You'll have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right. There really isn't a whole lot else to go on here. Well, thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. Ju, Wrench girl.
me?
Try not to hold that testimony against that princess. Believe me, I am sure she was acting with the best of intentions in mind.
You know the road to the Dark Realm is paved with these, right? With those...
Perhaps. It was definitely a serious lapse of judgment. One she will lead to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of an heir very suddenly. That's right, the mysterious death of the firstborn Princess Zelda. Hyrule still grieves after the events of that day. And yet, no one knows what exactly happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theories run amok. People blaming the royal guard, the Sheikah, and even the king himself. They had to render a custom king model for that shit. Because you don't see him in the game. They probably just used the Raru, the sage, as a base. The princess will soon have a whole kingdom's worth of troubles on her shoulders. For a kingdom with history such as turbulent desires and blah, blah, blah. The princess's current... Start over. The princess's conduct today probably won't help with the distrust some people have of the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond her years. She will learn and she'll be better. I simply ask that you would think of her as an enemy, whatever comes of this trial. She does not need more than she already has. Wow, she's so intense. I never expected to see him get so emotional. I guess all this is why she decided to take the blame for the princess's impromptu investigation. Detective Impa. Damn, he's got those Lakers warm-up pants on. Where'd he get those? What easy, soldier? I'm quite busy at the moment, so please be quick. The investigation team back at the ranch has just sent word of a new development. Something about a milk shipment being returned to the ranch because of wrong recipient address. If you're asking, you can come over to see it. Oh, those idiots. I don't have time for these. Seeing someone else, I have to escort the princess to the castle. Roger. That did remind me though. I took this bottle of milk from a couple guards who were slacking on their job earlier. Here, wrench girl. Perhaps it'll help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry, he's still unopened.
Oh, thank you.
That's nice of her. Too bad for those guards though. Now then, I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared. You know what? That bottle was from the shipment. They're gonna find some shit in that bottle. It's gonna be some blood or some shit. Like a little hint of blood. Watch. Now then, I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared by now. If you'll excuse me. What you happy for? Tastes weird, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
I think I'm so nervous right now. Milk has just lost its flavor.
Huh? Lost its flavor? Oh, a British guy made this. But Lon Lon milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. Huh, you're right. I assume this would have come from one of yesterday's shipments.
Probably. With the investigation at the ranch, there wouldn't be any today, so... Maybe it just isn't fresh?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't really taste as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of yesterday's shipments was misaddressed, didn't he? And this was all handled by Ingo, wasn't it? I think there's something odd going on. I better make some notes about this in the court record. Yup. Defense, the court is about to reconvene. So you're going back to the courtroom at once. So it comes down to this. The conclusion's approaching. Time to turn this situation around. Hey, I got my hearts back.
I think I got my swagger back.
Link's fit is clean though. Mod that into Ship of Arcanian.
Court is back in session for the trial of model race.
You see like toilet paper on his shoe when he walks back in.
I trust that the prosecution's final witness is ready. Dude, I feel 10 pounds lighter.
Naturally, I've personally seen to it that there will be no foolishness this time around. Hopefully his ears are intact. As we discussed before the recess, having established the opportunity and means for the defendant to have committed the murder, only one matter remains. The matter of motive. For, naturally, such a heinous crime couldn't be the result of mere happenstance. The prosecution believes the defendant had a deep desire that pushed her to patricide. Our next witness can shed light on the matter.
Fascinating. Very well, please proceed.
The prosecution calls the ranch worker Ingo to the stand.
Huh, it's funny to see Mr. Ingo in such fancy clothes.
Oh?
Yeah, he almost always just wears his work dungarees. It's almost like looking at a different person.
Well, I guess he wanted to dress up for court. He wouldn't want to get this nice outfit dirty by working in it. Quiet defense. Witness, state your name and occupation. Singing like a redneck voice.
Your Honor. Great honorable prosecutor. My name is Ingo. I mine La Ranch. Mine? What does that entail exactly? I'm mostly there to work the structure and equipment. The owner and his daughter are the ones who tend to the animals and take care of orders.
How long have you been working at the ranch?
It'll be several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, have persevered through all the hardships.
Sounds like he wants a medal for it.
Well, he does get a bit pompous at times, but Mr. Ingo really is a great help.
Oh yeah, the mask salesman choking him out. Oh, you mean the one where he's holding his head and like going around the world with it?
He built the ranch's silos single-handedly.
Whoa, that's some dedication. Very well. Given that you're clearly an important employee and are privy to some inside information, is that correct?
Yes, the ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusted me implicitly. He used to say that we're like a big family. That sounds lovely.
That sounds like a red flag that you're going to be getting loads of unpaid overtime. Evidently, not every member of your so-called family felt the same way, though, did they?
It hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, Honorable Court of Law.
Just a couple days ago, the owner Talon partly sent a ranch over to his daughter Melon. Talon became a life tenant with Melon and meant to inherit all his assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Melon could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership, believed the dingy, rich, stingy, blah blah. It's probably how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her.
And there you have it, testimony from a man who just lost everything. It's truly tragic to witness yet another family torn apart by greed. We have evidence, we have the defendant caught red-handed at the scene of the crime, and now we have a motive. How do we know he's telling the truth? Bah, I have of course verified the witness's testimony. As per the law, all inheritance documents must be filed at the Castletown Notary Office to be considered valid. I saw fit to prepare this for the trial. The prosecution would like to submit the Lon Lon Ranch inheritance document into evidence.
It's the judge's toilet paper.
Mr. Ingo, why would you? You should pass judgment now, Judge. The defense has nothing.
I would like to cross-examine the witness. There are a few more details I feel are relevant.
But of course, ask whatever you like. I, the hard-working Ingo, can handle it.
Very well, defense. Please begin.
Just a couple days ago, the owner Talon partly signed the ranch over to his daughter, Mountain.
How long ago was this exactly?
3-4 days. I'm not sure of the exact date.
Had it been planned for a long time?
Talon was getting on in years. Better take care of the matter sooner than later, eh?
Malin?
He is telling the truth. Father scheduled a visit to the notary office about a week ago.
What do you mean by partly witness?
Talon became a life tenant when Malin meant to inherit all the assets after his death.
So Malin hadn't become the ranch owner yet?
Why, of course not. Haven't you heard all the stories making rounds recently? So many ungrateful brats throwing their old folk into retirement homes the moment ownership signed to them. Talon was no fool. I convinced him that it was the safer option. If the girl was up to some chicanery, he could always revert his decision.
That's a Better Call Saul reference? To the episode Chicanery? They made that word?
That's horrible. I'd never do that. As much as I'd like to believe that, you did much worse by killing him. Children these days, you feed them, you raise them, and they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an inch of...
I must concur. The younger generation is horrible. Why did he look at me while saying that?
Anyway, what that meant was, as long as Talon lived, Malin could not sell the ranch.
But why would Malin want to sell the ranch right now?
Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty little girl like her want to work on some dingy ranch? She'd have it much better if she sold the old place and moved the money to move to Castletown.
That's not true. I love working with the animals. I wouldn't leave them for anything.
What? She's often slacking on the job, but I, the hard-working Ingo, have to cover for her. I guess the deku nut doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. That Talon loved to sleep on the job, too.
Oh, I do recall quite a funny story about a long ranch on the back of the side edge of the Hyrule Castle for an entire day once. The guards couldn't wake him up. It took particularly vocal Kuko, apparently.
Ah, jeez. That was Link that did that reference to the game. Woke him up with a chicken.
Well, there you go. I am the real reason why the ranch has such renown. Me, the hard-working Ingo.
Link, that's not true at all.
I know, but how do I stop this?
It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind.
Hold your horses. Do you really think Malin would go that far?
I don't want to think it, but clearly the events speak for themselves, don't they?
Why wouldn't she just wait a few more years then?
Talon was getting older. Perhaps she knew, and more work would be piling onto her. But really, how am I supposed to know? Ask her!
That's alright. Well, if Malin didn't want to work, she wouldn't have done this earlier. As Talon's only child, she still inherited the ranch.
That's where you're wrong. For a long while, Talon planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. He knew how much those horses meant to the royal guard. I wish he hadn't changed his mind now.
Is this true?
Yes, Father's previous inheritance document did work that way.
How admirable. I guess familial bonds won over his drive to help the kingdom. Truly a shame.
Yes, naturally. The girl wanted the whole thing, so she bided her time.
I think this sufficiently explains the timing. Let's continue, shall we? Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing that I'd like the witness to explain. Why would Malin have planned the murder for the day of the royal visitation, specifically? More people around means more witnesses. You'd think she would have chosen any other day.
Oh, did I forget to mention this? I overheard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He was telling her he'd changed his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he'd be signing the ranch over to the crown. After the visitation was over, he'd head the castle down to change the inheritance back to the original split.
What? Despite the victim's wishy-washiness, it would appear he did make the right choice in the end. And because of that choice, if the defendant wanted to get the ranch, she had no time to waste that day. Is this true too?
Absolutely not. Father wasn't planning to do that, and there was no argument either.
What to do about this argument then? Yeah, I'll add it. There was an argument about the inheritance? That sounds like an important fact to me. The defense requested to be added to the testimony.
Very well, witness. Please do so.
I'd be happy to, Your Honor. I overheard them arguing about the inheritance that morning.
About what time did this happen?
First thing in the morning, I was heading out to the silo to start the day's work. I had just walked out the front door of the ranch house when I heard some yelling interrupt behind me.
Erupt. Do you remember any specifics about what was heard?
Oh yes, it surprised me enough that I stopped to listen for a minute. It was all like,
I'm real sorry, Malin, but the most important thing is to make sure the king will always have a steady supply of quality horses.
I don't care. What about me, Father? How can you do this to me?
Malin, this isn't just about you. It's for the good of the entire kingdom.
But what am I supposed to do? I can't move up and knife my stuck on this dump of ranch forever.
I thought you loved the ranch. All the animals are here, and Ingo's always around to help with the chores, too. He's pretty great, isn't he?
Yeah, Ingo is awesome, but I still hate you for this. This isn't over.
Impression of an impression. Hire me, Nintendo.
What a story reenactment.
I'll keep my thoughts on the witness's acting skills to myself. There's no way this actually happened, though. Malin would never want to sell the ranch. Well, of course she said that now, you buffoon. Remember, she's under suspicion for murder. We can't trust a thing she says. It's probably the two of them that argued. Ingo and Talon. Well, I trust her, but the judge probably doesn't right now. And that's unfortunately what matters. Do I have anything in the court record that could refute this story? If you ask me, this whole inheritance issue could have been avoided if the crown wasn't so soft. In Gerudo Desert, there would be no question that the fortress may seize whatever it decides. That's just messed up. No matter, continue your testimony, farmhand. Share with us the true nature of the defendant.
it's appalling how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her. No, you hold it. That man gave everything for her. She's gotten so many expensive presents over the years. Just look at that golden necklace she's wearing. That man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he was killed.
Another gift?
Why, yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe.
No, my phone screen.
It's horrible Tom was such a kind man. What happened to him is despicable.
Was that last statement important? Yes. Your Honor, the defense wishes to add the statement about the perfume to the testimony. Bah, what are you doing? Trying to implicate the defendant even harder? No. I think it's an important detail. The perfume is irrelevant. But I suppose the prosecution has no objections to strengthening our case.
Very well, witness. Please add what you said to the testimony.
Talon often bought Malin gifts. I saw the latest one, some kind of perfume, I think.
Where did you see this?
I think it was lying around the ranch house. Talon probably intended to give it to Malin the day he was killed.
Do you mean this witness?
Why, yes, that's exactly it. Looks very expensive. If only Talon had spent as much on salary as for me, the hard-working Ingo. I'll get up and leave to do work at the break of dawn every day, you know.
What's your relationship with this guy anyway?
Well, he's been employed and living with us on the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work thinking about it.
Not a single one. Talk about dedication. But even so, something is very much off here. Eesh. Okay, I have some options. This is one that I could show something to. If they were in the house arguing and he was like reading the crates of milk, he couldn't have known what was going on. And then this one. Let's see here. Ranch inheritance document. Malin will inherit the ranch. If she is unable to oversee it, divide the deed between the crown and the remaining employees. So he has a motive. He'd be getting paid too. I mean, well, he'd have a share in it. Share. This one. It's gotta be this one. Show the document. Because that's a contradiction. That's not it? Oh my god. I'm speechless. House. It says the girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. I show a document that says Malin will inherit the ranch if she's unable to oversee it. Divide the deed between the crown and the remaining employees. He tried to kill her. Fuck. I could just show the bottle, like here's the more obvious thing, and I always do this in the Ace Attorney games, where I try to 5-head it, and it's just really obvious, so I could just show the bottle, and just say this was for the princess, actually not. I don't know what that would do, but But I already showed it. But I guess, I don't know, I could try it. I'll try it. It worked. Of course.
Witness.
What is it?
Just to confirm, you say that this bottle of perfume was bought for Malin by her father, correct?
What else would it be for? I assure you Talon wasn't taught to indulge in perfumes. Far from it.
Well, you're wrong, witness.
Oh, is that so? Is Ranzo truly a perfume connoisseur?
No, Your Honor. This bottle of perfume was bought for the princess. This guy. Huh? So what, defense? Sure, it's technically a contradiction, but what does the purpose of this bottle change?
Yes, defense, I admit I'm confused as well. Please explain why this point is important.
Earlier in the trial, Malin mentioned that Talon bought this perfume in preparation last minute. Isn't that right, Malin?
It sure is. We had a gift from the king prepared when the news arrived that it would actually be the princess making the visitation. Father quickly rode out into town to get a new gift.
He was gone. This info puts one thing into question. Somebody's movements. Chances are he wanted to kill Malin originally so he could get full inheritance of the ranch, because when Talon died it would go to him instead of be split between the crown and the employees remaining. So that somebody's movements, I don't think it's the princess's testimony, because, well, hold on, it could be, because the princess said it was in the ranch house. She did. It's one of those two. It's a 50-50. I mean, it's not the first one. The first one's like a joke answer. Yeah, I think it is somebody's movements. Because the princess's testimony was just like, she saw the bottle. I don't think it affects anything what she said about it. Yeah, it's gotta be. Someone's movements around the ranch are put into serious doubt.
Someone's... Well, don't keep us waiting, in defense. Who is this person?
Naturally, the person whose movements became suspect is Tingo. Yeah, gotta be. The witness himself. If you recall, this bottle of perfume which had just been purchased was found at the crime scene. Crime scene the witness supposedly never went to. He shouldn't have known about the bottle.
Ah! Order. The defense raised a very valid point.
You simpleton, what's the meaning of this?
Well, witness, did you go into the scene of the crime at any point?
No, of course I didn't. I was working at the silo all day. I remember. I saw the gift the day before the crime. The girl is lying. Talon must have gotten the gift the day before.
You're the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day.
One word against another. Defense. Do you have any way to prove that your version of events is true?
Ask at the store, find the receipt, smell the perfume. Oh, fuck. Smell the perfume? That's like the out there answer that could be right. If it smells like the oil, we got something. We asked to get the store, that's gonna take too long. We find the receipt. They probably didn't have a receipt. Probably burned it. Smell the perfume. That's the reach. That might actually be right. Smell makes the most sense. I agree. Why? We should just smell the perfume. What? All shall be revealed if we just smell it. Your Honor, if you would. The most sense.
Whatever you say, friends. Here goes. Oh, it's quite lovely.
Huh. Seems like Talon had quite the nose to pick this one out.
Great, you got the courtroom to smell like a Kiki's behind. Now what?
Skyward Sword. Race. Eh?
How does this prove anything, Defense? Surely there was a purpose to this whole exercise.
That is, well, the smell is very strong, so the perfume can't be that old.
Fall. Perfumes have a longer shelf life than just a couple of days, you idiot.
Right. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I was thinking that would accomplish.
Well, the courtroom smells nicer, but that won't get you out of this penalty.
Fork. Oh, this is just too good. Any other bright ideas?
What a gag answer. Ask at the store? It's gotta be, right? Like, they could just be like, let's bring in the witness from the store. I don't know. Folk. Why don't we send a soldier to ask the store owner when the bottle was bought?
Bah, do you know how many people visit that store? It's inconceivable that the owner would remember every random purchase.
Duh.
Real ideas, Defense.
At least I didn't get a penalty for that. Find the receipt, I guess. When you buy something, you usually get a receipt, and the receipt always shows the date of purchase. It might still be at the ranch house. I say we send someone out to look for it.
Father never throws receipts away. We have a drawer full of them. The perfume one should be right on top.
I believe this idea has some merit. Soldiers, rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for that receipt.
Your Honor.
Yes, what is it, soldier?
We have just received the receipt from the team station at the crime scene.
Very well, thank you. I shall now read it out.
There's a lot riding on this.
From Tingle's mysterious smells.
Tingle from Majora's Mask.
Oh yes, I think I've seen that store. It's that eccentric looking place in the back alley.
You could have missed the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's an utter eyesore. The gall of this nobody running a monopoly on Hylian perfume is preposterous.
Perhaps, but back to the matter at hand.
The nerve of that dunderhead. Why would anyone ever shop at a store who the owner calls every other customer a fairy?
Perhaps a cuter.
And the balloons. Oh, the balloons. That fool popped one right.
Because he goes there. Because he's zesty.
Prosecutor Dragmire, enough, damn it. Considering on purchase I have one bottle of rosy movie land. Oh my, this is quite a price. Why I would have to.
Your Honor, please. The date of purchase?
Oh, that's right, date of purchase. Why is March 16th, the day of the murder?
Go!
Order, order.
Whew. I think we're finally getting somewhere.
Bah, this still doesn't mean anything. Perhaps the witness briefly went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then. Yes, that's it. I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. I must have seen the bottle then. Oh, come on. You think we're going to believe that?
Do you have any proof that he didn't?
batch? Well,
I believe this calls for further testimony. As the witness now claims to have visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we should murder this exact movements that day.
Huh. My movements? Oh, well, alright. There's not a whole lot to say, though.
It's unfortunate that he managed to weasel out of that. But this next testimony will be full of lies. This is my chance. As I already stated, I volunteered to work in the silo. At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. Went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened, and now that detective... Wow, that detective was one fine woman. Shut your ass. Well, no, the crates. The milk crates.
See, I haven't done anything to warrant suspicion. Eat my shoes, you brat.
I'll pass. There has to be something wrong in there. You can't put a flawless story together that quickly. Yeah, it's the crates. Because he said he went back to the silo. Or some shit. I don't know.
As was already stated, I had volunteered to work in the silo.
What were you doing?
Working on shipments and fulfilling orders. We should now create some milk to milk bars all across the kingdom every day, you know.
Milk bars?
Naturally, everyone loves good drink, you know. And our milk is renowned as the best there is. I heard some others water theirs down. Despicable.
I see. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on the structures and equipment, though?
Indeed, Talon and the girl would usually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation is happening that day, I felt they needed their minds unoccupied, so I took it upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that the Sheikah Force's investigation would delay the shipment, and that I, the great Ingo, would get the blame. Thankfully, it all went through fine.
Yeah, and you were so concerned with sending it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it?
Bah, you Highlands. Ridiculous. Getting tipsy from something like milk? Bet you couldn't handle even a sip of the Gerudo's noble pursuit. A real man's drink.
A real man's drink? Aren't most of the Gerudo women?
Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he had gotten himself a glass of water.
Yes, of course. Moving all that heavy stuff around works up a sweat, you see. I got very thirsty and... At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water.
You didn't think to just take a sip of the milk you were handling?
No, it wouldn't be right. That milk was for the customers, you see. I just didn't want to get into any trouble.
A truly honest man. How dare you suggest you would steal from his own workplace? Right. So what did you see at the house?
Nothing much. I got my drink and left. Still had a lot of work to do, you see. I suppose I must have seen the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember it clearly now. I was there on the table plain as day. Moo-ha-ha.
Great.
What happened after that, witness?
I went back to the silo after that and stayed there until the courier came.
And you were able to complete this so quickly on your own?
Bah, you don't know the mind of the great Ingo. What? Yeah, pow, wham. I got things done in no time. I did almost break my back getting those crates out of the silo, though. There were so many, and I was so heavy. It was like a puzzle in there. Anyway, that's not important. The point is, I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then.
What a bottle? A bottle of oil? A bottle of oil could be, Are you sure? You tired? No, I was in the game.
Sure as can be. Muhaha.
You never went back in even after the crime was discovered?
Bah, they wouldn't let me in. Preserving the crime scene or some such. I couldn't even get any of my things. After I was questioned, no one gave me half a glance. I had to sleep in the stables that night. It was terrible.
Is what he just said important? Yes. Your Honor, I would like the witness to add this to his testimony.
Why? What are you trying to pull now?
You know what he did? You know what he did? That's what the lamp oil was for. He lit a fire because he was in the stable house overnight. He lit a fire to stay warm. Hey,
Very well, will this please amend the statement? Fuck.
God, fine, whatever. I didn't even get to sleep or access any of my belongings. I had to spend the night in the stable.
couldn't you have stayed at an inn?
Bah, what am I, made of money? Think, boy, I'm just a simple ranch worker, you know? You lawyers always flaunting your wealth.
Right. Sorry. Not actually sorry. I doubt one night would bankrupt this guy. Just look at what he's wearing.
At some point, the detective came and told me what happened, and wow, was that detective one fine woman.
Could you elaborate?
She's a hard-working woman who gets to the point and takes what she wants. Not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love?
That's not the part I wanted him to elaborate on.
Wow, he seems totally smitten with her.
Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about it.
Perhaps when this chore of a trial's over, I could, But no, you will have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? I, the genius ranch worker Ingo, see through your schemes.
He's sticking to that story, huh?
Yeah, it was a desperate fix, but it holds up surprisingly well.
I can hardly believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so nice.
It's time to press for more details. He's sure to slip up somewhere. There has to be a piece of evidence or a profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. A profile. I forgot that I could present those. They introduced that in Apollo Justice, I believe. Or maybe it was the third game. I don't think I could present a profile for this one. I don't think... So the murder was on the 16th. What day was the ranch inventory? It's the 15th. Okay. Also, yeah, the shipment was returned, which means he would have had to go back to receive it. One of yesterday's shipments. Tasteless. Shit. Shiitake mushroom. I think presenting the lamp oil right now would be like way too much of a stretch. Like a jump in logic. We gotta think smaller. I could present the bottle here. No, because she took it from the guards. Let me see what the profiles say. Uh, uh, yeah, I think I can show. What are we thinking? Lamp oil on statement 5? Or the milk shipment return on statement 4? Yeah, but he did say I wasn't able to take any of my belongings. Do you think statement 5 then? I got a few hearts, so I got 'em. What you thinking, Loki? Cause like if a shipment was returned, he'd have to go back and receive it. Cause it was misaddressed. But Link did like bring that up during the cross-examination. Yeah, well 5 he complains about he had to stay in the stables overnight and he didn't get to sleep or access his belongings. But I was thinking if I present the lamp oil, I'd be like, there's lamp oil here. Actually, what does it say on the lamp oil? Near a burned out fire. So it doesn't say it was near the stable. Did Zelda say it was outside the stable? Maybe she did. Because he'd have to have used a lamp oil for a lantern if he was up all night in the stables for light. How would he have never seen the fire if he was up all night? That's true. That's true. That's the case for showing that on 5. I'm gonna go for it, I think. If it's not right, then I have a backup plan. And if the backup plan's not right, then we gotta just rethink this whole thing. Fold. No, it was wrong. I've got you now. Okay, time for the backup plan. Spook up. That was wrong too. It's okay, I think if I die it just restarts at this testimony. There's a consult, do we take it? Guess it's like a hint. I'll take the hint. Why would Ingo even try to return to the ranch house if he knew there'd been a murder there? Well, I don't imagine if he had any other place to sleep. Father let him move in with us when he was hired, so he wouldn't have had to spend money on rent. Surely he didn't expect to be able to sleep at an active crime investigation scene, though. Well, it's not just that. All of Mr. Ingo's belongings are at the house. All of them, huh? It would be so easy to prove he went back to the scene if he just had something on him right now that he shouldn't. Maybe I should check his profile to make sure I haven't missed anything. Hey, speaking of profiles, do you remember you can present those during cross-examinations? Just making sure. So maybe I present his profile at the, I couldn't keep my belongings statement? Alright, sometimes the best evidence is a person, not a thing. I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Thanks, Malin.
You've got this, Link.
His clothes. He changed his clothes. See, it was obvious. Okay, it's gotta be in this one. This one we present his profile because he changed his clothes. Derp. I don't know how I didn't think of that. Yep. Clutch. Witness, there's something seriously wrong with your testimony.
What are you talking about?
You say you couldn't get any of your belongings because they were all at the ranch house, correct? The ranch house you were not allowed to go in?
That's right.
Well, that would imply you should still be wearing your work clothes. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all.
Ah!
The defense has a point. The witness appears pretty well dressed for court. I can't imagine you would sully those clothes during work.
Well, what do you have to say about that?
Bitch.
Oh, of course. I can explain. It's simple. These are brand new. Yeah. On my way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. After all, I couldn't very well show up to court dressed like a bum.
Yes, defense. Certain people have a modicum of respect for court and show up dressed appropriately. What's that supposed to mean? This is my finest Sora suit. So you claim that you brought these clothes after the dead. Whoa. Bought these clothes after the crime? Is that correct?
Very much so. This morning, in fact. Why do I need to repeat myself?
Do I accept the explanation? Fuck no. You buying those clothes today is simply impossible.
What?
Oh, how can you claim so? Defense, as you know, evidence is everything in court. Either prove that the witness couldn't have bought those clothes today, or get out. Well, see, it's really quite simple. Oh, I just cracked my hip. Sheesh. You're... For timestamps? Like, does this have timestamps? No, not really. I'm a little... confusion. I'm gonna go pee real quick. I'll think about it while I pee. I'm crying. Okay, I'm back. I'm crying. So, um, get out. Well, we could say, I mean, he, he, it could be the returned shipment, right? 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 Right, guys? Oh, we got his 8 a.m. as far as time. Oh god. I don't want to lose, dude. True. What could I present though? Probably this. I mean, yeah, because he would have gone straight from work to the courthouse. I'm going for it. Well, I'm dead. No, dude. No. That's okay. Yeah. That really doesn't work until you... Oh my lord, dude. We're just bullshitting at this point. It doesn't work until you press it. That's crazy. Yes. That sounds like the GTA 5 death sound. I know it's not though, it's the Epona whip sound. Okay, now can I do it? There.
Get out.
The oil bottle? Oh no. Maybe I just show this and say, oh, well, he had a lot of work to do. Ay, ay, ay. Read any details? Ah. He already owned the outfit. It's the picture. Yes. I would like to turn the court's attention to this.
Oh. Why this is one lovely pictograph. Oh, it reminds me of the idyllic days of swimming.
Shut up! What about this pictograph defense? Well, just look at what Ingo is wearing. This pictograph is from Malon's childhood, but Ingo is very clearly wearing the same outfit he has on right now. He couldn't have bought it today.
God!
The whip. The Von, can I remember her name? Francesca von Karma. Yeah.
Order, I would have order. My defense is absolutely correct.
No, it's crazy. It's been like 6 years since I played the trilogy.
I hope the witness has a good explanation for this.
There. I think we finally got him. There's no way he can weasel out this time. Oh, unless someone weasels out for him. Bah, isn't it obvious? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear his nice clothes for the royal visitation that was scheduled for that day. He brought them to the silo in advance so that he could quickly change just before the royal visitation's arrival.
Oh. Oh. Yahoo! Yes, of course, I need to be presentable after all. Can't look like a bum in front of the most important people in the kingdom.
Wait a minute, this is insane. What kind of kangaroo court is this? The prosecution keeps making excuses up on the spot. Ingo was clearly lying about buying the clothes before the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury? Accept it, Judge. There can be no other explanation.
The prosecution's explanation does seem plausible.
What?
However, the fact that the witness didn't simply say it himself and instead made a lie about buying the clothes is indeed very suspicious. The prosecution has posed that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. What is your opinion on the matter? Can the defense think of an alternative version of events?
This is big. I really need to think this through. Oh shit. Ingo's acting really suspicious right now. He's desperately trying to patch up holes in his testimony to conceal his real movements. Oh shit. This is like some Apollo Justice shit. Is it Saria? Who's Saria? Ingo's the murderer. Ingo's the victim. But no, wait, are we like 3D chessing this? Do we think Ganondorf's the murderer? Cause he could. Yeah, he does. 3. Yeah, we're just going for it. Fuck it. If it's not Malin, Mingo. Yeah, he wants the ranch. That's motive. True. If it's not Malin, Ingo is the only other person who could have done this. I have to assume he did if I want to think Malin is innocent. With that in mind, why would Ingo change out of his work clothes? Because there's blood on them? Yeah, Talon's blood got on them. They were eaten by a cow. The sages, well not the sages. The Din, Farin, and Nehru. When Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten blood on them. He had to change into something else to hide his involvement. But then, wouldn't the Sheikah Force have found the clothes in the house? How could they have disappeared? They were thrown in a fire with the oil. Ingo burned his clothes. That's it. This explains everything. I believe I can offer an alternative explanation. Nonsense. Judge, the defense spent far too long sitting in silence just now. They clearly have nothing. Dissociating in court. I call for a quick ruling. What? And not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of the murder.
No.
It's simple. The reason he had to swap his outfit and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since is because it got stained with the victim's blood. Preposterous! If there were any discarded blade clothes nearby, the Sheikah Force would have found them, and we would be trying someone else for murder right now. Why, you're absolutely correct, prosecutor. Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes lying around. And so he used this to dispose of them. The old... Your Honor, cast your mind to the princess's last testimony.
The princess is God upstairs is fire.
Surely you jest. You yourself made sure we all knew how meaningless her testimony was.
And yet, with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil found by a burned out fire. Ingo used this lamp oil to quickly burn away the stained work clothes. Well, how about it, witness? My scenario explains everything. You killed Talon and then tried to hide it.
No, hold on. What drivel are you spouting here? Me? Kill Talon? You already know it's impossible.
Present the will? Yeah, definitely.
Everything you said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my revolver. The fire was just made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on the poor innocent Ingo.
Yeah, he and the crown would split it.
Now, I should not remind you, defense, but you yourself were surprised that Ingo was able to complete the shipment in time. Adding even more things for him to do in that time is preposterous.
That's right, the great Ingo is efficient at his job, but not that efficient.
No, it had to have been him. I'm sure of it. There must be some trick at play here. Some kind of shortcut. I must find it. Yeah, that too. Because it's like... I feel like he could have mixed the ashes from the clothes into the milk. That's why it has no flavoring. Surely my scenario is more plausible at this point than these panicked attempts to fix your story. Yeah. What's more plausible isn't for you to vote. What the fuck?
What's more plausible isn't for you to decide, Defense. It's the judge that makes the final call. And as long as this alibi stands, I can't imagine him siding with you.
Yes, all the loose ends have to be tied up before a decision can be made.
What was wrong with the milk? So, during recess, Malon and Link tried some milk that Impa got from the guards from that shipment after the murder, and it didn't taste like anything. It like lost its flavor.
Witness, please continue.
Could you explain what that alibi is again? Could be, no, wait. No, Link said it wasn't old, so I think it was just like tampered with.
With pleasure. At the time of the crime, I was busy preparing that day's shipments of milk. That's hard work. I barely had enough time to get them done before the courier came to take them. The shipments were inspected by the Sheikah force as they were leaving the ranch. And as our resident detective has told us, they were found to be fully loaded with bottles of milk. That's right. The Sheikah force itself has vouched for me. There's no way I could be the culprit.
Oh, I disagree. There has to be a way. There must be. Yeah, one was returned to... So that could have been... I don't know. Returned and then shipped back out. Because he probably put the wrong address on purpose, so it could be sent back, so he could mix in the ashes or something. Something like that, I don't know. Or like mix the oil in them? I don't know. We'll see.
There's no way I could have...
Yeah, I already read that. Would it really have taken that long to murder someone and burn some clothes?
It would have taken long enough to definitely make the scheme infeasible. Completing these shipments is a rather involved process. You have to milk the cows, clean the bottles, pour the milk into them, put them into crates, and load those onto a wagon. I love working with the cows, but that part takes the longest because you only get a little at a time. So, as Mr. Ingo said, the whole thing really does take a while. Father and I usually have to work together to get it done for the courier's arrival. There you go, Defense. Your own client knows this is the unshakable truth.
Okay, so there's no way he could complete the shipments and also do the killing. In that case, there had to be some way for him to finish the work faster. I just have to find it.
The fire was just made for a quick breakfast.
I might use that Steve.
The fire was just made for a quick...
Yeah, I already read it anyway. Who cares? Watered down milk? Yeah. So you had enough time for breakfast, but not enough to kill someone?
Yes, of course. The breakfast was cooking while I kept working, then I just quickly gobbled it up. There's no issue there. In fact, yes, I remember it even burned a bit because I wasn't completely paying attention to it. That's why I had to go get that glass of water too, you see. Had to wash it down after.
What a convenient little explanation. But for all I know, he actually did cook up a breakfast on a fire of burning blood slopes. Ew! Yeah, it has to be watered down milk. He cheated.
Continue, witness. We don't want to hear about your culinary adventures. Of course. My point is just what I've been telling you this whole time.
How do we show water, though?
Stop trying to pin this on poor innocent Ingo.
The only people who could have done this were you and Malin. And I know Malin well enough to know she couldn't be the culprit. That leaves you as the perpetrator. Yes, but now we all know how much you value your friend. Let me remind you though, that feelings don't matter at all here. Either show us solid evidence that puts Ingo's alibi into question, or concede defeat. Is there any way you could have done the work faster? I'm not sure. It would be nice if there was though. I could sleep in a little bit longer every day. Yeah, you'd think he would have shared it with you if he knew of one. Just what shortcut did you use, Ingo? Low quality milk. Do you think the one that got returned was distributed among other ones? I don't know. They got sent somewhere to be diffused. I mean, it'd probably be this one. Maybe I just show this. It might be this too. But the perfume? No. Yeah, I think I should go for the bottle. I have plenty of tries left, so. Yeah. Because he says, let me read it again. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon and tried. Yeah, so we can just show this and be like, it was diffused with something to make the work faster. Yes. But did you though? Did you really complete those shipments properly? Defense, I shouldn't have to remind you that the Sheikah Force checked the boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. Oh, I'm sure it looked that way.
What are you getting at, Defense?
Here you go, Your Honor.
Milk for me.
Are you trying to bribe the judge now? I didn't think you'd stoop so low. The Crown will be informed of this.
Oh, it's nothing like that. All I'm asking is that His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip.
This is highly irregular. I'm lactose intolerant. But to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one's throat dry, you know.
Yes, I do. You've probably talked the least out of everyone here, though.
Since the defense insists, I'll go ahead and take a sip. Is this one passes for milk these days? This almost tastes like water.
You called it.
Water?
I have to agree. This is definitely not standard milk. As we've heard from the princess and the detective, Lon Lon Ranch is renowned for the quality of its products. But there's no way people would say that about milk this lousy.
Bah, whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know the difference between quality and garbage. Where are you going with this?
Simple, you see. I received this bottle from Detective Impa, still unopened during the first recess. As we know, there were no milk shipments today, so this must have come from one of Ingo's shipments from yesterday. It's true that Ingo couldn't have murdered Talon and also completed the shipments on his own. Unless he cheated. Ingo watered down the milk to get the shipments done in time. Yeah.
Order. Yes, I suppose that would work.
Indeed. All he had to do was milk fewer of the cows. Save enough time without ruining the taste too much. I'd guess he used about a 50-50 split of milk and water.
This is... No! I challenge.
Let me stop you right there.
Good.
I will concede that something odd happened to that shipment. But all you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker.
How dare you?
Be quiet, you mongrel.
He's definitely Edgeworth. Pre-trials and, well, no. No, Edgeworth turned good at the end of the first game, so pre-fourth trial of the first game, Edgeworth.
Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer, though, does it?
Yeah, definitely present the motive. Well, no, but now we do know that he definitely could have done it. We know he did go to the crime scene. And we know that he did have the time and opportunity to kill Talon as well.
Yet there's a vital element missing still.
Go.
Let me put it in simple terms so even an idiot like you can understand.
Go.
You like the murder weapon. If Ingo was the murderer, then it couldn't have been his song. Hi.
And why is that?
It's simple. If the girl's story about working on the fence is true, then she was using the saw while her father was being murdered. It couldn't have been in two places at the same time.
Do I agree with this? No. No, the saw was the murder weapon.
Truly? Well, if that's the case, present some proof. Enlighten us on how it could have been in two places at the same time.
There's probably two of them in the record. I really need to think about this. It should be this. There are two saws. Wood saws, one piece. One piece. Oak. Well. Now what? Let's just go back to that one. Oh, there's no other statement. Fuck. Autopsy report? My argument is that the saw is the murder weapon, though. I guess that does say deep irregular. I can try it. Well, we're fucked. Oops. Let me see the press text again. Maybe I do agree. No. Oh, I guess that was kind of right. Okay, yeah, I guess that works. Couldn't he have used any old thing?
Either answer the question of fence or its discussion is over.
No need to overthink this. Anywhere Ingo could have gotten the weapon from will do. I'll worry about the exact details later. Yeah, I could show this for that, right? Ranch inventory, there's plenty of other things you could murder someone with. Scythes, flails, knives, axes. I mean, come on. Have you forgotten this murder happened on a ranch? There are plenty of shard things on site. Ho ho. That's simply impossible. We checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everyone. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. Couldn't Ingo have just... Oh. Hidden it, disposed of it, wiped it off? Yeah, wiped it off because there was the cloth. Yeah, it was wiped clean, and there's the cloth with a bunch of blood on it. Yeah, I think he wiped it off. Couldn't Ingo have just wiped it off? Blood leaves traces. It's not that easy to get rid of. People like us aren't so sensitive, but other beings like the Zors can easily tell by smell. Naturally, the Sheikah Force employs people for just this task. Also, as Lon Lon Ranch focuses on selling horses and milk, the animals there aren't regularly butchered. So there's no good reason why any of the tools would have fresh blood on them. Any such implement would have stood out like a sore thumb. Perfume, yeah. Well, I guess that is a good point. I may have to rethink this. Couldn't Ingo have just... What? Disposed of it or hidden it? In the crates? I feel like he probably hid it in the crates. Right? Couldn't Ingo have just hidden it? Bah, the Kingdom's best investigators are on the case. We found no signs of anything buried on the premises. And even if Ingo skipped part of his work, he still wouldn't have had time to hide anything very far from the ranch. He may be an idiot, but do you really think he would have risked a weapon being found? Yeah, they're definitely in the boxes. With the wrong address, maybe, so when they got returned, he could just take it back. Silence. Wah! Well, I guess that is a good point. I may have to rethink this. Really? Disposed of it then? Couldn't Ingo have just disposed of it in some way? Ha, that's impossible. You see... I guess no penalty. No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing, and that list is indisputable. Here! How can you be so sure the inventory is accurate? Bah, use your head. There was a royal visitation scheduled for that day. The ranch owner needed everything to be in order. He would have double, even triple checked that list when he wrote it. I suppose he would have, but... No items were missing, you say? Then what about, this saw? Because, I mean, it was clean, right? There's only one saw. And it was clean. And... What am I cooking here? It's not like it was missing. Malin wasn't what at the same time? Well, Ganondorf said that she was using it. So he argued that there's only one saw, not two. Hold on. Died from bleeding out, not from lacerations. I've updated what? Yeah, true. Does he say specifically? Yeah, he was alive after the attack. True. The autopsy. Just read this one more time. Yeah, let's try it. Dark. Yeah. You got it, I think. Because he's talking about the day of, which was the 16th. This is from the 15th. Show it again. The inventory list itself is false. Oh, fascinating. That was Oxyu's doing. Thank you. What exactly makes you question the veracity of this drug? That would be something about the inventory itself. It's simple. You only need a brief look at the inventory to see it can't be trusted. Ho ho! You can't just go around making such general statements, Depends. Point out what exactly about the inventory makes it suspect. 15. Hold on. His writing is this fire? How is that not it? Oh. That's true. Yeah, I can select Ingo and be like, well, he could have just manipulated the inventory. Oh, saws is one piece. True. Saws. Are you kidding? Wait, what? So maybe I should have selected the one. Well, I'm cooked now. I feel like both approaches were correct. That's not fair. That's so unfair. Oh my god. Wow. I gotta redo that part all over again. Cause of that bullshit. Crazy. Oy, oy, oy. I agree. And then this. Disposed of it. What did I show for this again? What did I show for this again? The inventory. We sure it's not another piece of evidence though? Probably not. I'm gonna try to highlight the one. It's like right over it anyway. One. Holy shit, dude. Okay, I'm gonna point out the name too. If it's neither of those, I'm gonna shit myself. Okay, that was it. Just look here. The one who compiled this list was Ingo himself. He could have easily falsified the counts as part of his plan.
That doesn't matter. Nothing could have left the ranch.
The shipment. Wouldn't Ingo have just been able to just throw the item over the fence?
Bah, obviously we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. Nothing was found anywhere.
This is the most important point. Has nothing really been able to leave? Show the shipment. Are you really sure nothing left the ranch? What about a few little shipments of milk?
Preposterous. Have you forgotten that said shipments have been checked by the Sheikah Force before they were even allowed to leave?
That's true, but there was a place the Sheikah could have overlooked.
What in Din's name are you blabbing about? We're talking about bog standard crates here, boy. Not exactly vast dungeons full of nooks and crannies to stuff other things into, are they? Where could they have missed a murder weapon?
It's simple. They overlooked. Not the crates. The contents of the bottles. The crates themselves. You can't look at the crates. I mean, the crates themselves would lend to this piece of evidence. That's like the most... that's not... Link. Link! Link! What are you doing? Fucking telltale option. Yeah. There is one place inside the crates that the Sheikah couldn't have checked thoroughly without ruining the shipments. Without ruining the shipments? God. That's right. Ingo put the murder weapon inside one of the bottles to conceal it from the search.
That does seem plausible.
Now wait just a moment. A weapon in a milk bottle wouldn't just go unnoticed. Someone would have reported it. You know how much milk an average milk bar uses each day? Other shipments have most certainly been used up. Here, choked on it even.
Yeah, return box. Right about that. But he's missing some vital information. I mean, he would have reported it. But I'll show this. Oh, the sound effect. You would be correct that a weapon showing up in someone's milkshake would cause quite a stir. No pun intended. If the milk ever actually made it to any milk bar, that is. Yeah? Eh? You see, I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misaddressed.
No!
Indeed. If you recall, Ingo was the one who handled all of that. Now that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he had messed up the street address a little, the couriers would have known where the shipment was meant to go. How could he have bungled it that badly? It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with a murder weapon in it. Go! I bet Ingo expected this box to stay in shipping limbo a while longer. How unfortunate for him that the postal service was on its game today. Maybe because they were worried it'd start to smell.
I believe this calls for us to investigate the box of milk more closely. So just have those boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately.
Let's ride. Let's ride.
This is slander. Why would I kill Talon? Sure, he's a bit of a layabout, but he did give me a job. Why would I want him dead?
The motive? This is our time. That's simple. Why, I'm surprised you're even asking about it. Good. This evidence easily explains your motive. How? The very inheritance document you brought to the court's attention states the following. In case of a testator's death, his daughter Malin of Lanlan Ranch will inherit the ranch, unless she is unable to oversee it, in which case it shall be divided between the crown and the remaining employees.
Ah. What?
You not only killed Talon, but decided to frame Malin for the crime as well, so you would be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work in the silo all day. It gave you an alibi so that Malin would be the only possible culprit. Of course you knew about the royal visitation in advance. You knew Malin would go back to the ranch house to prepare before they arrived. A perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body.
No, no, no! What are you talking about? Talon's signing the ranch over to me. Preposterous.
Did he really not know? Because it was Dragmeyer who procured the actual document, not him. Go around there.
What is it, soldier?
What? The box you requested is here.
Already? That was quite fast.
Apparently the team at the ranch had already knows something arriving in their own. The box arrived just as we were able to rush out a courier to deliver our message. Well, 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 let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is this one. It's red. Hey! Here it is, from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. Looks like some kind of serrated knife. That explains the irregular wound pretty nicely. How could those Chica idiots have missed this? I'm sure the milk was pure white when they first checked it. It took a whole day for the blood to dissolve in it. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right.
Yeah. Oh, I've had it. Fine, fine. You wanna know why? You wanna know why I really killed that scumbag? No, no, what are you...
So you admit it?
Yes, yes, I admit it. What would you do if one day after years of backbreaking labor despite putting your all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish, without any reason, fired? Farewell, we don't need you anymore.
What? But that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, don't lie, I heard it all. I was just returning back from another day of spine-wrenching work, and lo and behold, what's this? Mal and Town are talking behind my back. I heard it all. We'll let him go after the visitation. We can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work on that shipment, I quietly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. Huh, you should have seen his face. You didn't expect it at all.
Yeah, I think they meant a horse. Or a cow.
So yes, Malin, I killed that lazy bum you called a father. And he deserved it.
Boy, the witness will seize his boasting of such terrible deed. I think we've heard enough. Soldiers, take him away.
Wait just a moment. Ingo.
Yes, girl, want to apologize for what you've done?
Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We weren't planning to fire you at all. You completely misunderstood what we were saying.
What?
I don't know who says that.
Well, you know how it goes with the royal visits. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-top shape. I do worry somehow about old Ingo, though. He's been complaining about his back recently. Do wish he'd take a step back and relax sometime. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation. Waha! Now there's an idea. Do him good, just get out for a while. I'll discuss it with him after the visitation. After things calm down, we can handle everything without him.
What the fuck did you say?
Damn, even worse.
That's... You were planning what? A vacation for me? And I did... No, it can't be so. Please say it isn't so.
Oh. The flock's gonna get him? Oh shit. Oh. Big chungus.
We have witnessed today the results of a horrifying misunderstanding. Misunderstanding or not, what you have done is unforgivable.
Talon was a kind man, beloved by all who had a good fortune to cross his path. His loss will be felt not only at his ranch, but all across Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with delusions of grandeur. I mean, look at him. An utter idiot dressed like a clown. Jeez, he's really laying into him. I bet he's just upset because he lost.
The prosecution's ran aside. I think it's time to declare today's verdict. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Young miss, I'm very sorry for the situation you found yourself in. I'm very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend.
I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Aw, thanks.
Now then, without further ado, in the name of God is Harley and the sacred land of Hyrule, I hereby announce the Mountain of Lon Lon Bridge. God guilty.
Throw him into the wilderness.
Court is adjourned.
We did it! I suppose so. I guess Ingo's outburst kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I can ever forgive Mr. Ingo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honestly. Really though, you shouldn't think about that for now. You're free! It's time to celebrate! But her dad's dead. I guess you're right. It's probably excellent work. Yeah. I knew you'd pull through. Oh, thanks. Yeah, they were so kind to him. What did they get in return? I've done it without you, really. So, thank you. No, that's not quite right. A gumshoe, yeah. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves it the most. Huh? Your Highness? I thought you were going back to Hyrule Castle. What strings did Impa have to pull to get her here?
But I realized I should apologize for what I did personally.
It's an honor.
There is no need to bow, not after what I have done. Really, if not for my status, I would have probably been crafted off to prison. Off to prison aside that angry little man.
Perjury's pretty serious, so that's probably not entirely wrong. Triforce of wisdom, Triforce of ignorance. Ah. As usual, you don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness.
How can you say that, Detective? I almost condemned an innocent person to prison.
Jez, there are some things you should think twice about doing in the future. But it's all thanks to you that the young lady over there finally went free. I don't know. Come on, attorney, show Your Highness what I'm talking about. The bottle of old.
A bottle.
Well, it's true. Without this and without knowing about the fire, we wouldn't have had any proof of substantiate our claim. And really, your obviously false testimony helps to... Ouch! Impa just stepped on my foot. Well, there you have it. In any case, I'm sure Miss Madeline isn't too upset.
Well, sure.
10 hut! Give orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately! Ah, just in time. Farewell, Your Highness. And so they left. Now then, listen to me. I know that I am perhaps being too lenient on the princess, but tough times are ahead. The princess will need all the confidence she can get to lead the kingdom through them.
She needs to learn to take responsibility for her actions too, though.
And she will. Huh? Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I imagine. The urgency with which she has been escorted out of here isn't coincidental.
What, is the king going to scold her?
At the very least. Not that. My duties call, unfortunately, so I must be all. Again, you did well today, both of you. I trust that I'll be able to rely on you in future court proceedings as well. I'll try my best. That's all I ask. That unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I'll be excusing myself post days. Farewell. Uh-oh. Yeah. Hello. Nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me now. Where did that blasted detective go? To have my reputation tarnished this way by some novice attorney from the boonies. Dramatic much? She looks about ready to burst from anger.
Don't be such a sore loser. You lost. Deal with it.
Yeah, we got the right verdict. Doesn't that make you even a little bit glad? Yes, I suppose there is some worth in that. High school Hyrule AU days. What'd that mean? I've heard that term before. What transpired is most unfortunate. I can only offer my condolences. Just remember that it was the meddling of that idiotic princess and the stupidity of that blasted detective that led to your arrest. Oh yeah, I also forgot. So you have any grievances, take it up with them. I suppose there is some truth to what he's saying. Speaking of the detective, it appears that she has fled from me like a cook on fire. Yeah, that was before Hyrule Historia, huh? Mark my words, she will regret what she's done for generations.
Well, that sure was something. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else.
I wouldn't say he's entirely blameless. Never mind that. Do you think you'll be alright running the ranch by yourself? Of course I'll come visit, but I have my attorney duties too.
I'll get in touch with the castle and see if I can spare some men to work at the ranch. Silly as my father may have seemed, he really did prepare me to take over one day, and he's taught me well. I'll make sure the animals are well cared for, just as I always have.
That's the spirit. I believe in you. Ganondorf the gym teacher, he would be.
I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't think I even want to think about what could happen.
Don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. And so ended a very personal case for me. Felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Malin continued working at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what her father was able to accomplish. I didn't really think much about it, but the days following were some of the happiest I lived for a long time. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy would soon shock the entire kingdom, and I'd find myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. Oh, a sequel's coming? Yay! Hero of Law, yay! It was Maya. I think it was Malin. Because Maya always gets convicted of something, but she like will be in at the defense attorney's desk with you. Okay, we're gonna go eat. So I'm gonna end the stream. The game was very good. It had definite Ace Attorney vibes going for it. Felt genuinely like an Ace Attorney case. Very fun. 3D Ace Attorney, they could. Investigations were kind of like 3D environments, but it was 2D. You know? So. I'm calling it here. I'm not gonna raid anyone. It was nice. It was a very good ROM hack. I'm glad I played it. Didn't expect it to be this long. But I'll be on tomorrow. Just seeing go getting jailed. Boom. Okay, I'll raid Rivali. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I should be back tomorrow. Maybe more Winnie the Pooh. We'll see. Bye bye now.